let's jump right in. I wanted it to be a witch and a wizard couples costume for the Renaissance Festival, which it was. Pictures, maybe. I'll see what I can insert here. And to do a couple's witch and wizard costume, I first needed fabric. So I thrifted the white fabric for $10, and the rest of the fabric was all given to me, which was very, very fun. So I kind of got to start off with lots of fabric for nothing. We always love that. Sorry, I gotta take this down. Anyway, since I had the fabric, the first thing I had to do was procrastinate with my cat. A lot. But once I did actually make myself move and do work, I did the natural tapey thing so that I would have an outline of my body. How do you feel today, Chi-Chi? Yeah. Thank you for being a weight on my fabric. Incredibly helpful. Promise I'm just doing the thing I gotta do. And then you can fur up my fabric to your heart's content. I'd never done a corset before. This was my very first corset, and I really needed to learn. For me, the best way to learn is to make mistakes. And so I was prepared to kind of ignore what other people say about boning, about corsetry, beyond the basic obvious stuff, so that I could learn why it works. We're gonna steal these. I'm dumb. So I've been seam ripping it, but it's like, there's a hole so you can remove them. I could have just done this without damaging that at all. I probably should have done a lot more pinning. And it's fine. It's either fine or it's not, and I don't want to deal with it if it's not, so it's gotta be fine. See, in this case, you gotta take this, you gotta grab that head, and you can straight up slide it out if you can get it. Yeah. Anyway. Ready? Ooh. Ah. It may not be the perfect corset, far from it, but it did really teach me how corsets actually work, which is largely about tension. See, when you have a corset, it's pulling horizontally, and so the boning is meant to pull it the opposite way. So that way, the warring tensions are really working together so that this entire garment doesn't fall apart or rip apart. I realized I have no idea how anyone does the bottom well. How do you seal in the bottom? How do you make that hem look nice? My hem was interesting, but you know what? We persevere. What my fabric, of course, could not persevere through was my own skizzers. I wasn't being careful, and I just cut a hole right in the edge there. And so I had to fix that, which was sad because the inside was so pretty. And then it wasn't. Oh well. The outside's pretty, that's all that matters. Of course, we also have sleeves. And the sleeves are more or less big pieces of the white fabric with what is happening? Mayday, mayday. We broke. I think we start from the other side. And we just kind of hope. Oh, I see what happened. It got snagged up top. You gotta watch for up top snagging. Alright, prayer time. We're already ripping things. It's gonna be fine. It really is. Can't rip my self-esteem if I don't have one. Alright, so I messed up. So here's the thing about the grommets. They're not gonna work because this is stretch fabric. Apparently, when you put grommets in stretch fabric, if you have it tight enough, it'll stay in for a bit. It's just gonna stretch the hole and then the grommets will fall out, which is what happened immediately. I lost 2 grommets, that being one. So I already took them out of this side and I have to take them out of the other side. Everything I found online said that I should insert this thing that I can't remember what is called right now. So I guess I'm gonna cut out some fabric, do that, and sew that on, and then re-punch the grommets. It's at this point that we have to take a trip to Joann's. And at Joann's, I can't keep my grubby fingers off of things. There's so many pretty things. But I was primarily there so I could get little crisscrossing thingy things. I don't know what you're supposed to lace up a corset with, and it's probably not ribbon. But you know what? That's what we did, and it worked well enough. If you are thinking of doing this though, don't get anything that has like super strong texture, I think. Like glitter. You don't want glitter. That's all I'm trying to say. Just don't get a glitter ribbon. That will stick so bad. It will be scratchy against your skin. It feels terrible. Just don't waste the money. Don't do it. And the skirt was exciting because I was lazy and that made more work. Like for instance, let me tell you, I didn't want to look up the circle skirt. I was like, I just want to cut something in the middle and have it work. So that's kind of what I did. I just would cut out a section, be like, does that fit my waist? Not really. A little more, go, 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 and then it was fine. It worked out just fine. And I decided to add a waistband. Here's where you should be more careful than me. While my waistband measurements were correct, how I gathered the skirt in was not. So the skirt wound up having like probably 1.5 inches space where it should have met on my body, and it did not. And so I just have a little triangle in my lower back that's just there, out to play. Just a little bit of spice, I guess. If you notice it, just pretend you don't. Now this is the part where I started to hit a rough patch. And by rough patch, I mean the hat. I was doing the hat and I was like pushing through, and then my camera storage would fill up and I'd have to stop and I'd go, why is this happening to me? And it was just, I was so frustrated and it was taking forever. And then it just hit me, my fiance doesn't even like hats. And so I messaged him and I was like, hey, what if I just don't? Instead, we're gonna do crowns or circlets. And while I thought through how I was gonna do that, the big one hit, real life. I found out I had a freeloader in my thyroid who wasn't paying rent. My cat attempted to die on me. I did a whole art show. Just a lot of things happened, and that entire time, I didn't know how to push myself back into the project. I knew I still had my fiance's entire costume to go. I knew I had a cloak. I knew I had the circlets. I knew, and yet pushing through felt impossible. So I had all this time to do this couples project, and then right at the last minute, I didn't. That means that the next parts we're gonna speed run. I decided to make the 2 crowns, and I wanted his to be I wanted it to be masculine but still match mine. And I looked through my trinkets and I found this little sun, and he was pretty messed up. He was missing a little horn guy, and I just decided no one's gonna notice. They'll think it's intentional if I do it like this. And then I added the same little glitter guys around that I started to add on mine. Yeah, let's make a cloak. Now I took the time to get my fiance's measurements, I took the time to watch a ton of different videos, but in the end, I BS'd this. I just kind of laid it out, went, I think this will work, and started cutting. Don't do that. It worked out for me, but don't do that. But now I had a cloak, the circlets, my entire costume. We need to handle his shirt and pants situation. So we hit a thrift store, and we hit a thrift store, and we hit a thrift store. But eventually we did find something, which takes me to hair and makeup and the actual day of the shoot. On to the reveal.